So as it turns out that when Tatsu takes a month off, we end up getting some of the greatest spreads in Dandadan history. This chapter was insanely hype with the amazing art, the incredible pacing, and just that, that old feeling, that tension, the exhilaration. Yeah, this chapter of Dandadan was incredible. If I could compare this directly to something, it would be like one of the most recent chapters from Chainsaw Man where it has zero dialogue. And this chapter, yeah, despite the lack of human language, we gotta talk about it because that ending, insane. So if you're new to the channel, we cover new chapters of Dandadan along with weekly discussion from the community with our hot take series, so make sure to get subscribed and drop a like. All right, so let's just get everything out of the way. We gotta talk about the absolute quality we got from this chapter. Usually, I review these chapters every week. I'm impressed all the time at the way Tatsu was able to achieve such a fine balance between scale, quality, and creativity. It almost makes you wonder what compromises that he has to deal with to do something as good as something like this chapter. And one of the best things about it is that at first, this chapter seems like it'll be your usual affair that we've gotten as of late. Okarun, Sakata, and Aira are running to Koki's location to rescue her because, as a bit of a reminder, a bit of a catch up for you, she was blackmailed by Count Saint Germain, or as some speculate, someone else, into hunting down yokai users and using blades that can take the powers of any of the users. However, the issue with this is that to take the power, they need to get their opponent to yield or give up. Up until now, however, we had no clue who the person contacting Koki is, even Koki herself. But thanks to her hair ornament, we now know that the blackmailer has made contact once again with Koki inside of the school gymnasium. On top of this, matters are made worse as Okarun, being powerless, has to be careful and play it safe and let Aira and, surprisingly, Sakata take the reins. And immediately we are treated to a barrage of spectacular art and full-page spreads galore. We see the entrance that has Aira's figure casting a shadow as Okarun and Sakata stand outside ready. But that is the thing, it seems as if they get caught off guard and the two standing outside are blasted away. This was absolutely insane. I mean, look at that blast. This could wipe out pretty much anyone in an instant. So you know that whoever this is, they are not messing around. And I think as well, this was all planned out pretty meticulously. As the saying goes, divide and conquer. The Dandadan's arguably best trait is their friendship and unity. But when you divide them, you are taking away their power. Because alone, they are singular, but together, well, they are dumb, or something, you get the point. So what happens when Aira is alone? Well, you have something similar to, like, I don't know, the Warhammer Titan in Attack on Titan. All that needs to happen after you take out the support is to simply deal with Aira and take her powers. After all, she has no help coming for her, and she works best with other people. However, thanks to the quickness of the spin kick Rizzler, Sakata uses his airbags to dodge just in time, so she will still have her support. It's just that, well, they're gonna have to go through someone first to actually get to Aira. But our first full-page spread is up as we see Sakata and Okarun rally against the forces of Hayase and the Cur, which sounds sort of like an Eric Clapton side project. Heyo! Now there's a reference nobody here will get, but this panel, I mean, it is so freaking cool. I think Hayase has like this, I don't know, this sort of like Anakin Skywalker thing going on where throughout the prequels he would just look more and more disheveled and more evil. I think that would kind of be pretty cool as a direction for Hayase's character. Like, just have him all scarred up and become ultra unredeemable or something. I don't know, just a thought. But either way, this spread wasn't the only one we saw. Oh no. This is like the Marineford of Dandadan in some ways. Aira herself is in the gymnasium facing off against countless headless students with their heads all floating in the air. And if it weren't for this being Dandadan, I think this idea would be really cool for like a Junji Ito short story or something like that. This visual and the corruption of this pure ideal of students like exercising in a gym is just, it's so fascinating as a concept of horror.
What the fuck did you call me?
This is a shonen, so we get this concept not wielded as a horror, but like their heads as a weapon. And I can't believe this. Aira, if you think about it, is so creative. She's basically playing a game of dodgeball with heads. And to be fair, if there is someone who could be good at dodgeball, or this kind of dodgeball, headball, dodge head, it would be Ira Shiratori in her yokai form. So they blast off a couple of heads as Ira is quick to dodge them, but they're not exactly playing by the rules as the bodies run to Ira to catch her, which is like a goofy sight, but actually really horrifying. But she is too quick and deals with them all. I do like Ira's little one-liners here and there telling these fools that they're not near ready to dance with her. I love this kind of stuff. I love the smack talking. It's so fun. And I don't know. I just like that it shows Ira's confidence, which is such a key aspect of her character. Even though when you think about it, it does come from a place of sheer delusion. Or Delulu. She then uses a move called Noble Drill, which sees her hair literally turn into a drill, which is absolutely something you'd see in Bayonetta. In fact, while I have never beaten a Bayonetta game, maybe that's something for my Twitch streams in the future, I'm going to spread some misinformation right here, live on Bento, in a new segment, which will also be its final segment called Delulu Misinformation News, And our first headline is Bayonetta did this first. That's it. Hooray me, I'm so cool. Spreading misinformation, where's my Russia money? But despite the sheer power of Noble Drill, I guess it compares nothing to a Hitachi drill. It doesn't do much as the enemies simply regenerate. But thanks to their experience with Koki, Ira realizes that there must be a singular power holder, and through taking that out, she can stop them from coming back. Also, can we talk about how great it is to see Ira zipping across the place like she's practicing for Titanfall 3 with all of the parkour? God, I cannot wait to see how this gets animated in the anime. But let's move on and let's talk about the next thing that happened in this chapter, because I guess the last thing that happened in this chapter, at the very end of the chapter, we spot Rin, who is now amongst the headless bodies of the students. Now, this brings up a lot of questions. Are these students dead? Because we see around her head the other students who sort of look like the Mexican alien, bombed out and depleted. I think I'm cross-wiring a couple jokes there. Anyways, I don't think she is dead, to cut to the chase, but I do think she may after a certain amount of time. If we're judging by the heads of the students around her, it may act on a timer of sorts. I also don't think these students are dead either, but who knows? But either way, if nothing is done, well, let's just say they're in a predicament. As for who is doing this, well, I think this is the coach. And I think it's specifically the one who asked out Miss Adachi because, as we saw in the last video, I theorized that this guy looks basically exactly like the coach. It also makes sense as, it fits with the theme of a gym inside of a school. Who else would command students to throw their ball heads at people? Duh, a school coach. This also may mean that the coach knows about Miss Adachi's powers too, which essentially means only one thing. This school needs to go on a firing spree. I mean, you can't have teachers with special powers teaching students. As we can see, it's turning out about as well as rolling a 1 on a Shadow Heart dice roll. Critical failure. And if you've never played D&D or Baldur's Gate 3, what are you doing? Making a mistake? Honestly, though, I think these upcoming chapters, if 183 is anything to go by, will be absolutely phenomenal and action-packed. I sense that Tatsu wants this arc to have a sense of urgency to it, because the underdogs are the dum-da-dums. But the question is how they are going to get through this. Well, I think a big key to this will be what happens with Seiko and the others. If they are able to return Momo to her original size, then they very well could have a fighting chance against these goons. Could, though, is the key word, because I don't think Momo can do this all alone. She should just be one of the several keys working together to bring down Count Saint-Germain. I think we're going to see an all-out war between Count Saint-Germain and the entirety of the Dum-Da-Dums and friends. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but I'm putting it out there. Ira, Momo, Okaroon, Spin Kick Rizzler, Seiko, and heck, maybe even Turbo Granny. But if there is one major takeaway from this chapter, it is that there is a war that is happening between Count Saint-Germain and his company against any and all yokai or spirit users, more so than ever before in Dandadan, and I think it'll take every single person they can get to fight Count Saint-Germain and his forces. The question becomes how, and what does it look like? Bad news? We don't know. Good news, we'll find out pretty soon. Thanks for watching the video. To be straight with you all, I work pretty hard across all my main channels. Hey, it's me, C Tactics and Bento. I am a passionate person in my work. So if you want to support me more directly, try ordering some delicious gamer subs with my 10% off creator code CTactics. That's right, I'm sponsored by them. In my opinion, I'd pick up the tub and tumbler combo. You get a sweet waifu cup along with a flavor of your choice. And with every order I get a little bit of a kickback, a little bit of a commission. But only if you use my code, of course. You can also throw me $1 on patreon.com/CTactics. But besides that, just dropping a like on the video, hitting that subscribe button, and joining our Discord server, uniting all of my channels into one community, is the best way to go. Links are in the description, and I'll see you next week for Dandadan 184. Thanks for watching.